Blair, an audio drama. Written and produced by Kerry Lawson of Lab Collie Films. Directed by Sara Bei. Starring Gary Baird as the narrator, Rebecca Finnie as Blair, Amy Mackie as Marian, and Daniel Morrison as Robert. This is Blair, an audio drama.
On a cold winter's night, we find ourselves at the local club. 3 girls tumble out, 2 of which are clearly intoxicated, followed by a very cross bouncer. He stands in front of the doorway, crossing his arms and planting the soles of his feet firmly on the ground. There is no chance of getting past him. 2 of the girls stomp their feet and tumble off in a straw, like children being sent to the naughty step. However, Marian hovers for a moment.
Sorry.
The bouncer wears a blank expression and simply jolts his head to the left. Marian takes a hint and opts to follow her friends. She keeps a slow pace, keeping her hands wrapped around her shoulders, desperately trying to shield herself from the cold, suddenly very conscious of how uncomfortable she feels in her dress. Her friends laugh, giggle, and come dangerously close to falling over on several occasions. She rolls her eyes. Sometimes she felt more like a parent than a friend. The 2 friends didn't see her, but Marian did. She catches a glimpse of a girl hunched over and vomiting. She feels drawn to her, like someone had lassoed a rope around her waist and was pulling her towards her.
Hey. You alright?
The girl pauses vomiting for a moment and slowly tries to bring herself to standing, however quickly returns to her squatted position to vomit once again.
Mary! Mary, come on!
For a moment, Marian had forgotten she wasn't alone. She glances at her friends, then back down the alleyway this girl was shadowed in. She finds herself presented with a fork in the road. Red pill or blue pill? This was none of her business. Simply a girl who had too much to drink. She should just follow her friends. Almost as if on instinct, she did the exact opposite.
Hey, where did she go?
The girl wasn't dressed for clubbing. She looked as if she had dug through someone else's wardrobe, as nothing seemed to fit quite right. Her black leather jacket made her look like Danny from Grease, engulfed her hands and only left the tips of her fingers pointing out. Her trousers had been rolled up at the cuff, however had come undone and lay dangerously close to the pool of vomit. Marian opts to place a hand on her back.
Are you okay?
The girl jumped backwards, falling down. When she looked up at Marian, she expected to see tears in her eyes, but she didn't. It was almost all. The girl was young, concerningly young, not old enough to be clubbing, let alone drinking. Marian knelt down next to her as elegantly as she could in her dress and began to re-roll the cuffs of her trousers.
There's a certain knack to this. Otherwise it will just keep falling down. I have to do it all the time, don't worry. After a while, you get the hang of it. See? Watch what I'm doing.
The girl glanced down at her trouser leg and watched Marian twist the denim until it sat neatly at the ankle. She then motioned for the girl to try, but she didn't move, simply continued to stare at her and all. Marian took this as a cue to fix things herself.
My name is Marian. What's yours? Did you come alone, or have you lost your friends? Why are you out this late? What happened to you? Okay. Why don't we start by standing up?
Marian stood and knelt down to grab the girl's forearms to help her. She felt something big and bulky strapped to her arm. Her eyes widened in shock.
Is this a knife?
She was alarmed. She hadn't told her friends where she was going. If this girl stabbed her, she would bleed to death, alone. It felt too thin to be a knife, more like some sort of jewellery made of wires and metal. But why was it hot? When she got to her feet, she wrapped her arms around Marian in a bear hug and squeezed so tight that the breath escaped her. Marian was taken aback for a moment, however soon returned the embrace, however much more gently, as if holding onto a delicate vase. She could feel her shake and hear the stifled sobs.
It's okay. Shh, it's all right. I won't leave you. Let's get you home, yeah? Come on.
Carefully, she broke herself away from the girl and looped an arm around her shoulders. Gently, she began to guide her back towards the main road and out of the alley. Clearly, she needed a hospital. This was deteriorating by the minute.
You know, I'm a fantastic judge of character.
A blatant lie. She knew she thought of her irresponsible friends.
And I bet you're a really nice person. I'd like to be friends. Can we be friends?
A small nod from the girl. Progress was being made.
I'd love to know my new friend's name.
Ah!
Robert appeared out of nowhere and slammed right into the girls. In the case of mistaken identity, Marian punched him in the face, then placed a hand over her mouth in a visual display of her guilt. Robert holds his nose as blood runs down his face, growing in pain.
You scared me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at your face.
I shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have.
The two looked at each other. It was obvious there were feelings there. Both were just too afraid to admit it. Marian looked at the girl who's now staring in awe at Robert. She's behaving like she's never been outside before.
Who's this?
I found her throwing up in the alleyway. No idea where she came from. She looks young as well. There's no way she's been inside a club.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, my first thought was ambulance, but my friends have my phone.
Arseholes. Yeah, I saw them at the taxi rank and figured they ditched you. That's actually why I came looking for you.
Blair! My name is Blair.
The girl blurts this out as if it's another bout of vomit creeping up her throat. Both turn to the girl and look at her. Marian is shocked. Marian crouched down to meet her gaze, and she noticed Robert did the same. She could see a glint behind his eye. The same inkling she felt moments earlier. A need to shield. The mark of a gentleman.
It's nice to meet you, Blair. I'm Marian, and this is Robert. Can you tell us what happened?
I'm younger than I look. Like, I always get ID'd and stuff because I look young, but I'm not as young as I look.
How old are you?
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Same.
Maybe she's got an ID? Have you got an ID? You said you always get ID'd.
Blair reaches into her pocket as if about to retrieve her ID. However, what she withdraws is a small Polaroid picture. Before she can show either of them, a gust of wind snatches it out of her hand and pulls it into the darkness of the night, flying off like a paper airplane.
No!
Maybe I should take her to a police station. If someone's hurt her.
No, I mean, yeah, maybe you're not wrong, but she may need fluids and stuff if she's been vomiting.
Marian looks to Blair, who seems to worsen by the minute. Her skin is much more pale and her eyes are framed by red circles. She begins to wobble as she stands.
Maybe we should take your jacket off.
No.
Can you call an ambulance?
I could, but there's a long wait now.
Okay. Taxi. You'll have to go home.
He gazed at her, and all Marian saw was a sad puppy.
Not that I don't want you to come. Of course I want you to come, but only if you want to come. I don't want you to feel like you have to come. It's just... I mean... No offence, but your face is a bit of a mess.
Robert brought his hand to his face and recoiled at the sight of fresh blood dripping down his nose. He had forgotten Marian had punched him. Somehow he'd become distracted.
I'll say I slipped.
You don't have to. Honestly. Okay. We'll be off.
As Marian turned and headed towards the taxi rank, Blair was taken under her wing and nudged in the same direction, too weak to protest. She looked back at Robert as she walked, and he struggled to find the words to say. The last thing she saw before they turned the corner was him hitting himself across the forehead, cursing his stupidity.
He likes you.
What?
You like him.
Of course I like him. He's sweet. Can we change the topic?
But you like like him, don't you? If you were just honest with him, I think.
Blair became a ragdoll. Her weight flopped onto Marian and it took all her strength to bring her steadily to the ground. Concerned, Marian looked around in a panic.
I'm okay. I just got a little lightheaded. Just give me a minute.
Blair shuffled herself to the edge of the pavement and sat with her knees curled up to her chest, breathing heavily. Marian joined her, concerned.
Have you ever had your heart broken?
Blair turns to her and looks into her soul. She could see parts of herself in this girl. Her brown mess of hair atop her head, the shape of her nose, the curve of her jawline. She could see the trauma printed across her face.
Have you?
Yeah,
You don't have to.
but not in that way.
You know what a wise woman once told me?
Marian shuffles herself closer to Blair and wraps an arm around her comfortingly. She uses this as an opportunity to discreetly feel Blair's forehead, and her hands sizzled upon contact.
Pain and loss. They define us as much as happiness or love.
Blair smiled to herself and attempted her best poker face. However, this didn't seem to work.
What? What?
I've seen Doctor Who.
Is that from Doctor Who?
Yeah. You're right, though. A wise woman. Sarah Jane Smith. Marian, I didn't mean to overstep.
No, you're probably right. I have tried before, but sometimes the hardest thing to do is take a leap of faith. What if I fall?
You won't fall.
Marian looked at Blair and noticed the shift in her. Confident and determined, centred. She really believed what she was saying. Could she be right? She'd only known her for 15 minutes, but she'd clearly picked up on something. A gust of wind snapped her back to reality and brought her back to Blair's rapidly declining health. She propelled herself forward, catching surprised Blair off guard. To steady herself, she wrapped her arms around Marian. Once 2 feet were steady on the ground, she did not let go. A maternal instinct was surfacing within her. She could hear her whispering something to herself, almost ineligible. Something about being brave? Marian placed a hand on Blair's head and smoothed down the frizz.
Thank you.
For what?
Everything. The taxi!
Marian stared at her, still not sure what to think. She then gives a nod and turns to fetch a taxi from the rank. She stuck her head into a window of a car to query the driver and upon his agreement, removed herself to fetch Blair. But she was gone. Vanished without a trace. Marian takes a few steps forward, looking around with no success. There's nowhere a child that sick could have gone in that short period of time. She hurried back to the taxi driver.
In or out, love?
You see a... In.
The smell of hot metal burned at Marian's nostrils. She'd only turned her back for a second. She swallowed, her throat feeling like sandpaper. She'd have to ask Robert about this tomorrow, but for now, all she could do was head home. Marian steps into the taxi in the process, dislodging the Polaroid stuck to her shoe. It floated away from the car and down into a nearby grate. As the waters of the underground soaked into the image, it distorted, becoming even more ineligible, leaving no footprint of Blair. A beacon of light consumed the room, announcing Blair's arrival. She fell down and her arms frantically danced around as if carrying a hot tray and desperately shook off the time travel device looped around her arm. As it hit the carpet, it sizzled and left distinct red spiral markings up Blair's skin. She didn't feel the pain, only glee. She lay on the floor staring up at the ceiling, giggling. The giggles then turned to coughs. Her joy turned to alarm when she saw water bottle come into her vision. Blair snatched it gratefully and propped herself up, chugging. Once in this position, she came face to face with her granddad. She slumped backwards, realising how much trouble she was in. Maybe if she lay super still, he wouldn't notice her. Maybe if she never sat up, she wouldn't see the changes to his face. In particular, his nose that had never quite healed.
No. I was going to say I'm sorry, but I'm not. Why would I be? It was so worth it. Every second. Every second. I got to hug her for the first time in months. I got to hear her voice and look into her eyes. Don't you dare sit there and tell me that if you could, you wouldn't. So, hate me if you want. Ground me if you must. Call the police and send me to jail. Do what you have to do. I don't regret seeing her. I don't regret seeing Gran.
An old and tired Robert moves to sit down, then to lie down next to Blair. He looked at her, saying nothing. He could see the toll time travel was taking on her. He would have to call the doctors again and make up yet another lie to explain. Robert wished he could join her, but his body wouldn't cope with one journey, let alone the several she had clearly been on. He dismissed this daydream. He didn't need to see his late wife again because she lived on through Blair. He wriggled his hand around until his fingers intertwined with Blair's and grasped them. Her brown mess of hair atop her head, the shape of her nose, the curve of her jawline. Only then did he look her in the eyes. He said nothing, because there was nothing Blair didn't already know. He stayed there until she drifted off. Ensuring he wouldn't disturb her, he peeled himself from the floor, never letting go of her hand. His fingertips grazed the time machine as he pulled it towards him. As he ran a finger over the metal, he said a final goodbye to his late wife, then smashed it down with all of his strength, shattering it to pieces.